Hello, thank you for meeting with me today. I just wanted to take some time to talk with you about the progress I am seeing Jo make in this school year. She is an exceptional student that always is well behaved and eager to learn. I can always count on her to help other students or substitutes when needed. Jo works really hard in the class and is a model student. She's a joy to have in class, and I have very high hopes for her and her future endeavors. As you know, Jo is a very strong student that excels academically. I wanted to talk to you today about a series of tests she has been given dealing with her reading level. These tests assessed her abilities in phonics, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. To analyze her phonics skills, I had Jo complete a quick write for me. This means that she hand wrote for 5 minutes on a topic of her choice. All I asked of her was to keep writing for the entirety of the 5 minutes. Jo decided she wanted to write about the importance of books in a world of technology. After she had finished, I looked at her writing to observe her thinking and writing process. It was very clear to me that Jo knows how to make flashy and well-developed pieces of writing. But by having her complete this, it also showed me that I need to work with her on the fluidity and spelling of her writing. I can also assume these same areas are struggles for her in reading, which I am also more than happy to help sit down and work with her on. Do you have any questions so far?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Along with her phonics, I also had her complete a test for me so I could analyze her vocabulary level. I'm sure you're aware that Jo has a great vocabulary and loves to use several large words above her grade level. With this being said, I decided to test Jo's vocabulary by looking at the words that she knows and can define out of context. To do this, I gave Jo what is called a words meaning test, or WMT. In this test, we started Jo at 8th grade level, and while Jo did have a couple of hesitations, she progressed through the test with flying colors. Jo was able to pass each level given on the WMT, which puts her at a 12th grade or 12.0 vocabulary level. This tells me she's doing perfectly fine with her vocabulary skills and does not need any additional help on her vocabulary right now.
Awesome.
The next test I'd like to discuss with you is the fluency test that we gave Jo. To do this, I gave her the San Diego Quick Test, which also tests students on the words they can recognize and pronounce out of context. At the end, the results tell me what Jo's frustration, instruction, and independent reading levels are. Since Jo is currently in 11th grade, I started her at the 9th grade level, or 2 grade levels below the current grade level that she's in. Theoretically, the 10th grade level would be her independent level, the 11th would be her instructional, and the 12th would be her frustration, just from where she is academically with her grade right now. I learned that the actuality is Jo's independent reading level is 7th grade, with an instructional reading level of 8th and 9th, and a frustration reading level at 10th grade. With this being said, I don't want you or her to become discouraged. This is something I see all the time with students, and I think it's extremely important that we are also taking Jo's hearing into account. While it may not seem like it, it actually has a significant impact on a student's reading abilities. Now, I want to assure you that I'm not going to let Jo slide through the cracks. Along with her test results, I've also prepared numerous intervention strategies that I want to try with Jo. So I just ask that you hang in there with me while I explain one more test, and I will talk with you about all these interventions, and I'm excited to start with Jo.
Sounds great.
So lastly, I gave Jo a comprehension assessment. The purpose of this test was to see how well Jo could comprehend when she was asked to read a passage that was in that independent reading level. As she was reading, I was watching for any skipped, missed, or extra words, and after she was done, I asked her a series of questions about what she read when she had finished. During her reading, Jo scored a 93% for her reading accuracy rate, meaning that she read 93% of the passage correctly, which tells me she was definitely within that independent reading level that we were looking for. Next, I asked Jo a series of different leveled comprehension questions. Each of these questions tested different types and levels of comprehension. In total, she scored an 11 out of 12, which means when she's reading something that is in that independent reading level, she's very well able to comprehend it and retell what she had read. So what all these really tell us is Jo is a very capable student, and she is capable of reading. What gets her is her reading level, and that it's lower. So the great news is that when she's reading at her level, her phonics, fluency, comprehension, and vocabulary are right where they should be. What I'd really like to start working on with Jo is trying to boost that reading level, like you were just talking about. So to do this, I want to just stress practice. She needs to practice at home if she's reading magazines or the cereal box while she's eating breakfast. And then I'm also going to try and get her to practice a lot more in class and with me on a one-on-one level. I also would like her to start reading aloud more. Studies like 5 strategies to help improve students' reading levels tell us that practice reading aloud helps improve upon overall reading skills. So, with this being said, I plan on working with Jo one-on-one during reading time and class time to have her practice reading aloud to me. And we will start with material that's at her independent level, slowly working our way up. And I'm confident that this is going to help Jo with her reading level, and she's gonna skyrocket with that practice. Along with reading aloud in class, I also recommend that you help her read aloud at home. It will help with her reading practice and confidence levels, and really, the more practice Jo gets is only going to help her. The more she gets, the faster and the smoother that this is going to bring her reading level up. But overall, Jo is a fantastic student. She's truly a great asset to the class. She's an excellent helper, and I know I can always count on her to be displaying what is expected with her peers. I'm really glad I had the opportunity to be her teacher and watch her grow and succeed. And I can say with certainty that if she continues on this path she's on, she's only going to continue chasing after and achieving her dreams in the future. So do you have any other questions for me?
No, I'm good. I'm so glad Jo is in your very capable hands for the year.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. And if you do come up with any other questions, or I can provide any other help with you, or any materials to help her read at home, please don't hesitate to let me know. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.